What's up, guys? Today's lesson is on this most beloved monsters fight, the Plesioth.
Why is he lying?
I'm only saying this based on some discussions I've seen. I've never actually fought against it, only played since Rise. The prefix plesio of the name Plesioth probably derives from the Plesiosaurus, and that derives from the Greek words plesios, meaning near or close to, and sauros, meaning lizard. This is because the Plesiosaurus' appearance was closer to a lizard than the Ichthyosaurus, which looks a lot more like a fish. But this isn't a dinosaur video, I won't get more into it.
Aww.
As for the suffix, eoth is more common in monster naming, like with the Barioth, Lavasioth, Epioth, and Talioth. I don't know what it means though, or if it means anything at all. Its Japanese name is pronounced Ganatototsu, so it makes you wonder why it has the eoth suffix in English, because based on the Japanese pronunciation, I think it should be more like Ganatotus in English, like Duratotus, but you'd have to take it up with big Capcom to learn why. The Plesioth belongs to the Piscine wyvern classification of monsters, sharing the label with the Cephadrome, Lavasioth, Beototus, and Duratotus. Monsters in this category are typically flightless and amphibious, resembling bony fish or ichthyosaurs. And there are also other types of the Plesioth. There's a subspecies Green Plesioth, Xenus species Zenith Plesioth, variant Sea Bream Plesioth, and special species Whitewater Plesioth. However, I won't be talking about any of them here, just the original.
Boo.
Out of all piscine wyverns, the Plesioth is the biggest at a max length of 32.47 meters and a height of around 10.4 meters. To put this into perspective, the longest blue whale was around 33.5 meters and only about 5 meters tall, while the heaviest weighed around 190 tons. Now we don't know the Plesioth's weight, so using this as a reference, I'd estimate it to weigh at least 400 tons, so likely more around 450 to 500 tons since its body is probably made up of a larger percentage of muscle, which is denser than fat. The Plesioth is rarely seen outside of the water, since when it does, it has to move bipedally and a lot more clumsily due to its massive size. Covering its body are shiny colorful scales that run navy blue and salmon orange on its back and whitish on its underside. These scales are thick and have a lapis-like shine to them, even when dry, and their thickness acts as protection from the fangs and claws of other large monsters. The Plesioth's head is also tough and has a pointed snout. Its eyes in eyesight aren't very good though, and honestly, when I look at it, I could tell. Like, where are its pupils? My guy's like cataracts or something. No wonder it can't see. Instead, the Plesioth has great hearing to compensate for its eyes, letting it navigate its surroundings. This does come with a disadvantage, which is that sudden loud sounds can startle it, pissing it off and causing it to surface to land. Looking at its mouth, its jaw is lined with 2 rows each, top and bottom, of sharp, needle-like teeth strong enough to easily crush the shells of carapaceans. Despite this, intact lobster shells have been found inside the stomach of a beached Plesioth carcass, so apparently it can also swallow its prey whole. One of the monster's most prominent features are its fins. These 2 large wing-like pectoral fins let it zoom through the water, being able to swim faster than a running horse at top speed. Additionally, the Plesioth has 3 fins on its head, a tall dorsal fin, an adipose fin shown here since it's not in my drawing, a big caudal or tail fin, and a small fin underneath its tail. What all of these fins have in common are these sharp orange spines, each containing a strong neurotoxin that can put its victims to sleep. And even though the Plesioth lives mostly underwater, it doesn't have gills. It has a respiratory system like other wyverns. Looking closer, there aren't any visible nostrils either, so breathing is done through its skin. It's the same thing most amphibians can do. It's even got webbed feet like more aquatic frogs. This ability lets the Plesioth absorb oxygen underwater, letting it stay in the water for long periods of time. But even so, it prefers staying near the water surface where oxygen is more accessible. A con this does bring, however, is that staying on land is a lot more dangerous, since its breathing gets worse if its skin dries out more and more.
I'm trying.
The Plesioth is found in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, 3 Ultimate, and Generations Ultimate. There's also the spin-off Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, but I'm only counting the games where you can actually hunt it, so who cares? In these games, it's been seen in a deserted island, the old and normal jungles, the flooded forest, the misty peaks, the dunes, the desert, and the ruined pinnacle. A lot of places. But unfortunately, as a new-gen Monster Hunter fan, I haven't played any of these games mentioned, so I don't know much else about their habitat. Well, other than the fact that they live mostly in water. Anyone who's played the games can tell me more based on their experience, but this is the most I can reliably say about its habitat. The Plesioth can live in both freshwater and saltwater environments, being an ambush predator. To hunt land prey, when they come near the edge of the water, it'll shoot a jet of compressed water at it, likely killing it instantly. For larger land prey, the Plesioth can also just grab and pull them underwater. And for aquatic prey, its hunting method is easier since it's in its natural habitat. It can just bite or swallow prey whole depending on the size or if it has a tough shell. Some of the prey it goes for are carapaceans, many types of fish, lobsters, and large herbivores like aplonoth and epioth. However, out of all the prey in the world, the plesioth's favorite is frogs. In fact, it's what hunters use as bait to lure it onto land, where finding it becomes a lot easier to deal with. I'll get into this strategy later. So apparently, the plesioth is ovoviviparous, meaning its eggs are fertilized and hatched within their mother's womb. When the eggs hatch inside, the baby plesioth will start eating each other until there's just one left in the womb. Then, the winning baby plesioth will eat unfertilized eggs the mother continuously releases into the womb that'll act as food. For a good amount of time, the baby will be raised here. During this entire process, the male plesioth stays with the mother, bringing her and her children food, or child when it eventually gets to that point. And when the baby finally reaches about a third of its parent's size, it'll leave the womb and live on its own, no longer receiving care from its mother. According to the IUCN Red List, the plesioth is classified as a not real species, since it's not a real-life creature.
Wow. Revolutionary.
It's real in the sense that it exists in the digital space of Moss Hunter, but not physically here in our world. Normal humans stand no chance against a plesioth, but hunters on the other hand, they definitely can. It's strongly recommended to not take it on in its best habitat underwater, so luring it to land is a much better idea. But using a frog willy-nilly isn't good enough though. There are some good tips to follow if you want to bait it with a frog. First, most importantly, the plesioth can't be made aware of the hunter's presence while baiting it, since it's very cautious and won't take the bait if it notices them. So if in a small group of hunters, only one hunter should try to fish it out. The others should try to keep some distance until the plesioth's been successfully baited. Once the plesioth gets hooked, the hunter needs to be careful so that they aren't pulled into the water as it tugs the fishing line. And eventually, if all goes well, the plesioth will get pissed off and jump out of the water to attack the fishing hunter. Now, the rest of the hunters can join the fight, but be ready for its infamous hip check. Like, look at that! What is that hitbox? Surely that gets fixed when it comes back. But after being slain, the plesioth's parts can be used to craft armor sets and a variety of weapons. Its head and fins are especially valuable for this purpose, so for returns and ascendants or something, aim for those. Now before I wrap up this lesson, if you're thinking about subbing for more Monster Hunter content, let me say something first. I'm a channel mostly covering real aquatic life. This lesson you're watching right now is part of what I now call a special series, where every so often, I cover the aquatic-based creatures of a chosen franchise, only changing franchises when I finish the current special series. And as you can see, right now it's Monster Hunter. Thing is though, I only make these videos once for every 3 real-life aquatic life videos. So if you do choose to sub, I hope you enjoy all things aquatic and watch my other lessons too. And if not, well, I can't stop you if you sub and watch only the Monster Hunter lessons. But I can beg. Please watch them, I beg of you. Look at this numbers difference. It makes me want to cry. But anyway, that's all for today's lesson. Subscribe for more fish facts, and I'll see you next time.